Tonight, we'll find out what kind of food a Machia-like restaurant would bring to us. Also, which is the newest car in town that takes everyone's breath away. And what motivates a superstar to continuously give back to society. Welcome to Dolce Vita. What is creativity? The inner workings of the creative mind have been under scrutiny by psychologists, sociologists, anthropologists, and neuroscientists for decades. One expert even went so far as to say that innovation requires no special thought process. Creative people just work harder. Well, the dishes in this restaurant might prove that saying to be true. Many people think that creativity comes from a sudden moment of insight, a magical burst of ideas from mental building blocks that are different from the ones we use every day. But extensive research shows that when we're being creative, we're actually using the same mental building blocks that we usually use. Does that mean that I'll never be able to design a car like this one? There are so many things to consider when choosing the right car. Powerful performance, distinctive exterior, interior design, trying to find that one-of-a-kind individuality. All these choices make finding the right car that much more difficult. You see, I want the sophistication and comfort of a four-door sedan, but I love the adrenaline rush of a sports car. Finding a vehicle that can incorporate elegance with motorsports elements such as innovative racing technology may seem impossible, but believe it or not, you can have the best of both worlds.
This sports car is based on the award-winning concept car Le Mans Quattro, which won the legendary Le Mans race a record 5 times. The prototype first debuted in 2003 and finally evolved to the racy consumer model first launched in Paris in the fall of 2006, with this dramatic design remaining true to the original concept car first seen last year. This car has an enormous racing potential, yet is still suitable for an everyday drive. Simply put, a sports car with no temper.
Now, before we make the big decision, there are several things that we usually do. Study car reviews, check out safety reports, read up on crash test results, and of course know all the specifications. Well, at least that's what people suggest you do. But who has the time?
Exactly. For the many people who don't have the time to do the homework, don't worry. We've already done it for you.
Well, then can you tell us some of the special features in this sports car that are different from the other cars?
But the uniqueness of this car is the combination of the mid-engine, which is put right in the middle of the car, which have an equal distribution on the weight. And then, of course, at the rear engine compartment, instead of a metallic hood, a metal hood, we have a glass hood, so that people can look at the engine from outside. That is another very unique feature and very attractive.
As the company's first mid-engine sports car, it combines the experience gained from numerous motorsport triumphs with groundbreaking design and the acknowledged technological expertise of the brand. At the heart of the car sits the 420 horsepower aluminium V8 engine. With 0 to 100 km/h acceleration in less than 5 seconds, this engine pulls smooth and strong throughout. With 12 LEDs on each side, this vehicle's headlights are unique with bi-xenon headlights and daytime running light. And another standard feature includes the 18-inch cast aluminium wheels. As for the side blade of carbon fiber on each side, owners have the choice of whether to emphasize the blade by choosing a contrasting color or integrating it with the rest of the car. You can even match the blade color with your outfit if you want. Another highlight of this sports car is the R-tronic sequential gearbox. The best part of this feature is the nearly zero loss power transmission, which means more straightforward and reliable operation. This production uses FSI technology, which results in higher power output, higher torque, lower fuel consumption and reduced exhaust emission. A nice car for the environmentally friendly.
This sports car here has much more to offer than its cutting-edge technology and stylish appearance. In fact, racing features and accessories have been added. For racer wannabes, this here is the ideal choice.
The sporty interior is dominated by a totally driver-oriented cockpit design. With a classic two-seat mid-engine outline, this car sits low and wide. The cockpit of this vehicle gives the driver all the elements and feel of motor racing. To please the aspired racer, the racing-style steering wheel is leather-wrapped, which imitates those in racing cars.
Well, I can't afford to take this baby home yet, but even if I could, I can't take it home right away. Ever since it was launched last year, the response has been overwhelming. But that doesn't mean I can't take it for a spin. See y'all later.
Precision and balance are the two words that best describe driving the sports car. This baby, without a doubt, goes right to the top of my wish list.
Want to be effortlessly chic? Coming up, be with us for a refreshing summer makeup demo. And join us for an interview with one of the most fascinating artists for 3 decades. say when we take ourselves away from working out a problem, we change what we're doing and our context. Thus, we activate different parts of our brain. The next thing we see or hear might inspire us to create greatness. I think the next time I'm about to put on makeup, I'll do it away from my dresser. I just might come out looking more refreshed than usual.
We all have our own areas of expertise, but for some subjects, it's always better to turn to the pro. Today, I'm going to get tips from an expert who knows everything about makeup, from concealer to foundation, from the latest trends to the newest colors. Let's go!
With summer right around the corner, you need to freshen up your look. But what's in and what's not? Don't worry, let's take a quick lesson from the expert.
Hi Sebastian, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Glad to be here.
So I know that you're going to do a makeup that's going to be trendy for the summer, right?
Yes, I'm going to tell you everything about summer makeup, great tips for the real women out there that are looking for tips to get through a hot, humid day in Hong Kong.
Oh, that's great.
First thing first, it's so important to get the right formula of creams or lotions so that your skin is prepared perfectly so that the makeup doesn't look like makeup. Let's start with concealer. And you want to start close to the inner corner of the eye and then close to the lash line. And then you apply more or less depending on your under eye condition. If you have more dark circles, you can layer and get a little more coverage out of your concealer. Pressing with the finger, the concealer, is the best way to make it look natural. And the warmth of the finger combined with the pressing motion really gets the concealer to look very, very natural. Powder compact foundation, well, this one that I'm using today has an SPF of 20++, and it's a brightening formula. So it is a formula that will not make you look cakey or very dry because it does have light reflective quality and it does match the skin tone perfectly, so it will not look like a mask but still look like fresh skin without the excessive shine that you may get in the summertime. There are two different tools that you can use for foundation application. Of course, it comes with a sponge. I think most women are familiar with the sponge application, but I would suggest today for a much more natural finish using a face brush, similar to a powder brush basically.
So in terms of color, what's in and what's not in for the summer?
This summer, a really great way to add color to the face is really by using warmer shades of pinks as well as peachy tones, and always go into sheer quality products. When you smile to apply the blush, it looks a lot more natural. It looks like it's your natural cheeks that are creating this glow rather than looking like you're wearing blush.
So is there a special way to do it? Like when you smile, you put it on the cheekbone where it stands out the most?
Yes, let's do it for the viewer once more. So add a little color to your brush, dust the excess off, and then starting from the apples of the cheeks, dusting on the way up towards the hairline, and then downwards so that it looks all well diffused. All right, there we go, looking fresh. And noticing now how the color of the cheeks is getting the lip color to sort of stand out a little more. Because I know Asian ladies love their pink shades, and it, rightfully so, it makes you look very fresh every time.
Is there anything Asian women should pay more attention to when applying eyeshadow?
If you do not have the double eyelid and you want to avoid an eyelid that looks too round or puffy, stick to shimmer either close to the lash line, open up, so that there's a little glow close to the lashes, or right beneath the brow bone. Never shimmer all over. I think you're a perfect example on how to wear eyeshadow. A soft highlight under the brow bone, and then more definition on the eyelid to open up the eyes.
So we shouldn't use one whole color for all over the eyelid to the brow?
Not one shimmery all over color.
Okay.
Right, it could definitely be like ivory, just to smooth out the entire lid. Here I'm using the peach literally directly on the eyelid just to get a little more shimmer out of the color. It's summer, you want to see that little glow.
Yes.
And then the ivory eyeshadow. which gives a nice lift under the brow bone. But the matteness of the ivory against the peachy shimmer shadow just
And that
gives
can
us a nice
highlight the
balance.
whole face.
Exactly. It opens up the eyes really nicely. This looks nice and smooth. Perfect.
What's the best way to keep mascaras on?
The best way to keep mascara on is applying a little powder over your concealer to set it so that there's no creamy texture that will eventually stick to your lashes. So the powder against the lash line will keep the lashes really into place. The mascara will stay onto it. And if you're using a no smudge formula, it should really stay on immediately, and then once it's dry, it's not going to go anywhere.
I understand.
All right. So here we are. Lightweight makeup.
A simple philosophy: put makeup on to be prettier and more confident, but look and feel like yourself.
Applying makeup should be fun and not time-consuming. Now, with Sebastian's tips and techniques, achieving your desired look is no longer a difficult task.
Scientists have studied the notebooks and manuscripts of famous minds such as T.S. Eliot, Charles Darwin, and the Wright brothers. And what they found was that creativity doesn't happen with a brilliant flash, rather a chain reaction of tiny sparks. And actually, that's a good philosophy for life. Always let your achievements build upwards from the one that happened before. Best known for songs like I Honestly Love You, Physical, and Xanadu, Olivia's appeal seems to be timeless. With a career spanning more than 3 decades, she is still a vibrant, creative individual, adored by fans across the world.
But I've got something to tell you that I never thought I would.
Ms. Newton-John, thank you very much for being with us.
You're welcome.
Now, I understand that your father was a professor,
Yes.
and your grandfather was a Nobel Prize-winning physicist.
That's right.
How did they come out with you, who became a singer?
I don't know, pretty weird, huh? My father, even though he was a professor of language, he had a wonderful singing voice. He was Welsh. My mother had a lovely voice. And they say that math and music are very close together. So I got the music part. I definitely didn't get the math part.
But did you receive any opposition from your family? Did they want you to become an academic as well, or were they very supportive of your career
I
choice?
think they would have liked me to have some, university degrees before I went into my career, but I was 15 and very strong-willed, and I wanted to do it. And here I am, lucky me.
Now, you are one of the most long-lasting and most endearing artists of all time. Can you tell us if any of the songs that you've sung in the past have significant meaning to you?
I have a lot. Going back to the very early days, If Not For You was my very first success in '71, as a record success. And then I had my country music days, If You Love Me, Let Me Know, Please Mr. Please, and then I had Grease, You're the One That I Want, Physical, Xanadu, which was Magic, Suddenly, and I've made a lot of records since then. They were my biggest hit days then.
Since the age of 15, Olivia set her mind on her singing career, and her success throughout the years has definitely proved the superstar's talent. The climax came in 1978 when Olivia's co-starring role with John Travolta in Grease catapulted her into superstardom. This production was the most successful movie musical in history, which also brought audiences a few of her biggest hits, You're the One That I Want and Hopelessly Devoted to You. The movie Grease is one of the most popular movies of all time and a very important movie for a whole generation of young people. Can you tell us if that movie was important to you and how it felt making that movie for yourself?
It was a lot of fun because it was like going to school, and I'd never been to a school like that. I went to a school in Australia where we wore uniforms, the boys and girls were segregated, we had separate staircases, separate places to eat lunch. So to be in this film where we were all together and people were flirting, and it was fun. It was like going back to school.
Although Olivia's charmed life does have its share of upsets, she chose to deal with all that in a positive way, which is acknowledged and respected by many. There have been a lot of publicity on some of the struggles in your life. For example, you're divorced and your battle with breast cancer. Can you tell us how that has affected you?
Well, I think, you know, everyone goes through something, and I think divorce, sadly, I think 50% of marriages, people go through that. So it's always difficult. It's a very, very painful thing to go through because it's a loss. It's a loss, but the person's still there. So it's a double kind of whammy. And breast cancer, sadly, many, many women go through that. It changes your life, but there's a saying that goes, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. So I'm stronger from it. I've learned a lot of lessons. I've learned to really be grateful for every day, you know, because when there's a possibility you won't have another day, it makes you even more aware of how lucky we are. So I think I have more understanding of people and more compassion for things.
I know that you have come out with a new album, Grace and Gratitude. Can you tell us what the inspiration is behind this new album?
Grace and Gratitude was really born out of a need for me to create some healing music. I've always wanted to make music like this, and I was at a time in my life where I needed to heal myself. So this album kind of came out of a desire to create this kind of music for myself, and it seems to be pleasing other people too.
Thank you very much for being with us today.
Thank you.
That's all the time we have for tonight. Thanks for watching. If you're interested in more information about all the items we featured in this episode, don't forget to check out our website. Meanwhile, we'll be bringing you more Dolce Vita next week. See you then.